Welcome into another edition of Mix in a Water Monday. He is Ryan Brewer in his nice, toasty, warm home in South Carolina. I'm Mike Yuva up in what feels like a tundra in New England, covering the Patriots. But you know what? The focus right now is on the Gamecocks, especially with what we saw on Saturday night, Ryan. Perhaps one of the biggest, if not the biggest win in program history, being able to take down the Vols.
Yeah, you didn't see that coming, Mike?
No, but I will say this, though. Shane Beamer gave me credit. I was one of the few reporters who actually said they would cover. I said Tennessee would score 38. I was just way off with how many points I thought South Carolina would score.
I think the word flabbergasted has been used a bunch, and there's been a lot of that. That was absolutely amazing what we did offensively and what Spencer Rattler did out there. Just his completion percentage, his precise throwing, just throwing guys open. The dude was on fire, man. I mean, it was absolutely could not do anything wrong. And all the credit what the receivers and what they did, running backs, how they splitting things up with Juju and Bell in the backfield, and that was great. But that offensive line needs to get a heck of a lot of credit for that game, man. It was I don't know if you saw it, but Eric Douglas was when he went out, he was having a great game. He went out and Manos went in, just absolutely dominated the drive. When the O lines were able to shift and move guys around and come out there and move the ball like that, just phenomenal offense performance. So hats off to however the heck that happened. I was definitely not a naysayer because I'm a big time. Hey, whatever, you got to play the game for a reason, right? It happens, but I was also the guy that said if we're going to win this game, it's got to be because special teams getting points, defense
Yep.
getting, and none of that happened. The offense just said, "Heck with it, we got this thing."
And you've been in situations, I'm sure, before where the offense, whether it be a week to week thing or just the course of the season, you know that you can do more. And with this offense, we can sit here, we can go down the rabbit hole talking about talent. I don't think that's up for debate. We saw that last night, and we saw what happens when all of them get the ball. I think 12 different guys had receptions last night. Never mind the 150 yards rushing. But I bring that up though, Ryan, because you have a game like you had last night. What can that do from a confidence standpoint? We understand that Clemson is right around the corner. That's next week. We understand how big that means to the state. But for an offense that has, you know, been looking for some type of identity, consistency, just that explosiveness. They've had good games and they've had good moments, but what we saw last night was just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, you're right. We've had moments. We've had these flashes that show how athletic we are, how much talent we have on the outside. But everything just struck perfect. In this Tennessee game, it was one of those. What can it do going forward? That's up to the players. It's up to them. I mean, you look at it sometimes. I mean, multiple times. I also let a loss make twice type deal. We also, this is where you can take that momentum, this big win, you can push you to the next level, to the next game, but you also don't want it to go to your head and say, hey, that's going to happen. No, you got to figure out how did it happen? How did we get to this situation and make it happen again on the field against Clemson?
And from an offensive standpoint, I'm sure the $1 million question that everyone's going to have, and I'm sure Beamer's going to be asked it on Tuesday, and he's going to be asked it multiple times. Why did it take this long? I know that's the $1 million question, Brian.
Yeah, it seemed like everything just worked, man. And they changed some things up. You see some of the quotes coming out from the players. Saying F it, let's just go have some fun, let's go go at it, whatever. That's part of it. Even the pregame guys, how they're warming up, how they were getting involved in the crowd, and again, hats off to the fans at Williams-Brice, man. That's the home field advantage is huge. It's absolutely amazing. But just the players, you could see the energy level and all that happened. Such a poor performance against Florida, and be able to come out and do that is actually special. So again, going back to the previous question, what did we do? Well, how do we get this all back into that genie bottle and make it come out again against Clemson? Because whatever we did this week, figure it out and do it again.
I talked to a different 21 a couple days ago, Marcus Lattimore, and we were discussing Jaheim Bell playing running back for another week without Marshawn Lloyd in the mix, without Christian Beal-Smith. We saw Jaheim as the featured back. There was other running backs in there as well, but I thought he did a nice job to at least give you the ability to mix in the play action that I feel like is so critical for this offense, because I just don't feel like, again, Tennessee pass defense, seventh worst in the country going into last night's game. But at the same time, too, we see what happens when they're able to establish the run, the extension off the play action. Just your thoughts on how Bell has been able to also play the running back position while also juggling, essentially playing receiver and tight end.
Yeah, so he's playing three positions at once, maybe even more if you want to throw in like whatever an H back. Um, phenomenal job, and and the week before, a lot of people were frustrated, myself included, because I don't think he's a pure tailback. He's not a pure running back. That being said, because with the low in the push, he has trouble going lateral or side to side. But the O line does get a push, and he gets ahead of steam. That's when he's going to score because such a big guy. But the biggest thing to take out of it, he's just taking it all with stride. At the beginning of the year, everyone's where is he? Where is he? Now, you know what? He's touching the ball more than anybody, and he's doing it well. He's keeping the ball protected. That's the biggest thing right now. They're not scared of using the short yardage situations. They just keep moving that direction. You obviously you want your two studs to come back at running back, and they're gonna go back. Hey, how are we getting the ball again? But he's taking coaching. He's taking all these formations and doing head off the bell.
And as you can see, and people watching at home, this laptop is just absolutely shaking right now because of the wind. I need something to hold this thing down. I need something to hold this down. I should call Cam Smith because Cam was just absolutely locking down receivers on Saturday night. Look, at the end of the day, when you go up against a talented offense like Tennessee, we saw Tillman score in the corner of the end zone. They're going to get theirs at some point. But overall, what he did on Jalen Hyatt in particular, but across playing inside, playing outside at the defensive back position, just absolutely phenomenal, Brian.
I think they took it personal, man. That's why it's the greatest game out there. Like all this smack talking, all this go, hey, they're gonna try to put up some style points on us. Got to have it to be in the top four. They're gonna try to run it up, all that. These corners mentally, that's you can't talk that shit to them, man. That's right there. I'm gonna lock them down. And the coverage all game was there. There's just perfect throws and Hooker, good luck with him and all that with his knee, but just perfect tosses. That's just that Tennessee offense is special. That defense made stops when it had to, and Cam was the catalyst of that, dude. I mean, the guy he played like it was going to be his last game at Williams-Brice. He go out with a bang and a great showing. Like awesome for all those seniors to have that in the memory bank forever, man. I mean, beating a team like that, No.5 team, and just in the fans rushing the field and just celebrating all together. I mean, just think about that for the rest of your life.
You mentioned the fans storming the field. As someone that played for this program, I asked Perry Orth this question last night. To see that moment, what does that mean to you, knowing that 2 years ago this program had 6 wins combined in 2020 and then 2019? I mean, those 2 years, 6 wins combined. Obviously, this is not the peak. This is not where fans want it to just end. They want to be able to build. I know Shane Beamer wants it to build. I know as an alum like you want to be able to see it go only up. But to see a moment like last night, what does that mean to you as an alum?
It's huge, man. I'm sitting 10 rows up, filming everything. I didn't go on the field because I had my daughters with me and niece, and I was sitting there going, honestly, there's soccer in the morning. Let's not try to get hurt or do anything silly out there. But just watching as a former player and knowing the feeling they're having, for a guy that's had 2 goalposts down when we were playing, and following them all to 5 points, and wishing I was young again to go back and follow those students having such a great time. Sorry for the hedges out there, but everybody was taking one home. I don't know if you saw that or not, but that was crazy.
Yep.
But that just, dude, it's such a great feeling, and again, it's now you have that as a player, you have that forever. But again, you're not done. Man. You got 1 more game, regular season. Find that power, find that passion, and play. And let's go again. Add Death Valley. Figure this out. But man, it's huge for the recruits that were there. It's for people to see how much love, how much joy, how much it's just a family atmosphere at Williams-Brice and for the Gamecocks, and it's something that you just got to carry over.
It's incredible what can happen in a span of 24 hours, right? I think outside of the people in that building, Maybe people that like yourself that played for the team, maybe it's like, all right, see what happens. But I think there's a lot of people that after the Florida game, they just assumed, all right, South Carolina is going to lose against a very good Tennessee team. They're going to lose against a very good Clemson team. They'll be 6-6 in the regular season. We'll go to a bowl game. That'll be nice. But now, as we sit here, they have an opportunity to get 8 wins in the regular season. And not just that, but they have an opportunity to end the streak. So I say all that, Ryan. It's going to take a lot. This is going to be a very, very good defensive team that they're going up against in Clemson. I say all that. What would a win for Shane Beamer in year 2 mean against Clemson and to be able to get that 8th win in the regular season?
Look, this game last night was a statement win for this program. I think the losses Missouri and Florida hurt the fan base, hurt some of the people on there mentally. What was going to happen? Talking about this, the progression, what's going on, and the Jekyll and Hyde of what's going on with this team. But last night was so big for recruits, for like I said, where we can go bowl and all that stuff. But it's going to be nothing compared if we go to Clemson and beat them there, because that's going to be the statement on top of it. So you talk about that roller coaster ride, man. And this is we didn't go to the peak yet. We're still, this one right here will be the peak of it. Is getting that, that daggone monkey off your back type deal. We've been beating down some people when it comes to finally getting Kentucky off our back, A&M off our back. This one right here is huge.
That sounds good. And hopefully South Carolina will go to a warm bowl game. Maybe I'll go warm up talking about how cold it is. Where is it? Feel like temperature's 20 degrees. And with that win, I can tell you it feels like it's in the teens. Yeah. Enjoy it. Enjoy your nice little whiskey, beer, whatever you got, Brewer.
Yeah.
But no, buddy, I appreciate it. A lot of fun. Columbia, South Carolina last night. I was really bummed. Hope to see you soon, man. Hope to see you soon.
Hope so. Hope we go get warm, dude.
I will
do this again next week, all happy, and Gamecock Nation just keep celebrating.
Love that. That's going to do it for this week's edition of Mix in a Water Monday. Be sure to check out GC Live Talking Tuesday nights tomorrow night.